So today I'm going to show you how to change the oil in a 2010 Kia Soul. I'm going to use some ramps. You can also just jack your car up. You want your tire to be right around here. If you go too much further, you will actually go off the front of it. It's a good idea at this point. Just put something behind the wheel so it doesn't move while you're under it. I've also pulled up on the emergency brake to make sure that it doesn't want to move as much. Alright, so we'll turn the car off. So these are the tools and the things that you need to change the oil in this car. Basically it's a 17mm socket or a 17mm wrench. Might be easier to get something loose with this or a braking bar. Funnel to put the oil in, a pan to collect the oil. If the oil filter is not easy to remove, here's a oil filter wrench. There's also other oil wrenches like this that are more adjustable. The oil filter we're using today is here. I'll put that link in the description below. But there are other brands, makes, models, whatever. We're going to be using 5W20 synthetic blend. I believe this car takes less than 4 quarts, but it's always good to have a spare just in case. So in these older Kias, it's good to have an extra quart of oil with you just because they do tend to burn off a fair bit of oil. So check it probably once a month. And paper towels to mop up any oil. So if we go to here, here's your oil drain plug. And then in front of that, you have your oil filter, this white thing right here. The color will be different depending on the brand. So I'm going to put the oil pan on the ground right underneath here, and then this is a 17mm. So I'm going to position the drain pan just a little further back than this because I know usually it sprays back. So I'm going to open this up counterclockwise. We'll take the bolt off. I'll do that now. It's a good idea to wear gloves, let the car cool down a little bit so it's not burning hot, and safety glasses are always useful. So alright, so now we loosened it up. Oh. You got hot oil. Just gonna let that drain out. Take this time to wipe off the drain plug. Clean out any of the threads. Once you get the majority of the oil out, you can wipe off this face. Put the drain plug back in. I want to snug this up with the 17mm wrench. Alright, it's good. Now we're going to move over and change the oil filter itself, which is just located in front of here. You can see this. So now we're going to take off the oil filter. You have a couple of options here. If you're worried about oil dripping on this piece of plastic, there's a couple of bolts that you can remove that you you can take off so it doesn't drip on that cover. If you're not really worried about it, you could just remove it from here and just wipe up the cover after you're done. So for me, I'm just going to wipe it up after I'm done. If it's difficult to move this, which it's been a while since this has been serviced, it's a good idea to have a wrench. So like I showed before, there are a couple of different options. You can have this, which is very adjustable for multiple different sizes. What I'm going to do is try to pick the right one, put the pin in, and then do the same for the bottom. You can pick whatever size you want, and effectively the way this works is as you bend it, it tightens down on the filter, basically going up when I'm looking at it. So try to get this on here, and I just turn it that way, and it's loosened up. So now I should be able to do it by hand. Take that off. Make sure the oil pan is directly underneath. As I loosen this up, a little bit of oil should come out of here. This is where, if you want, you can put some gloves on. This is the messiest part. Just dump the oil out into to recover it. And I'm going to recycle this oil back at an automotive store. They basically sell it to incinerate it. It goes waste to energy. Alright, so once you get most of the oil out of the filter, wipe everything off, put it in a trash bag. Clean up anything that's gotten oil on it. Wash your hands. Make sure the surface where the filter was is nice and clean. You don't want any burrs or anything sticking out when you put the new filter on. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the filter, and I like to just moisten this gasket just a little bit. That way it's a little bit easier to get off. Just like to moisten the gasket a little bit. And we'll put the filter back on. I'm just going to go up in here. Make sure it's threaded on nice and straight. Once you tighten it up, just go maybe no more than 3/4 of a turn. Don't want to put a lot of force onto it. There, you're good to go. Now we're going to put the oil in. Open this up. This is where the engine oil goes. And if you notice, it'll also say 5W20. So I've added 3.5 quarts approximately. We're going to check the engine oil and see how much more we need. So you're just going to take this dipstick, wipe it off. What you're going to want to see is something between the full and the low. So we want to be closer to the full. So we'll put this back in. So it looks like we're in between the low and the high. So I'm going to put the rest of this in. It'll make up a total of 4 quarts, and that will be plenty for this. Then you can recycle these at Pep Boys or AutoZone or any automotive location that you pick up oil. They'll take the oil, they'll recycle it, they'll do waste to energy. Don't dump it anywhere because it is toxic. So, all right, thanks. If you like do-it-yourself repairs, such as automotive repairs, please subscribe. This is the channel for you. Thanks. Have a great day.